So I got up her Insta and the button said follow back.
Stop!
And I was like
my heart would have
bro.
dropped. Hi, Emmy.
Hi.
Welcome to Gift of the Gab.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name's...
Girl.
Do I look in the camera?
You can do whatever you want, girl.
I'm Imogen, and I'm the founder of London-based fashion brand IMI STUDIOS.
Wow.
But I'm from Edinburgh originally, and yeah, I'm just back visiting this week. So,
but you said you were in Inverness.
I was in
that
Inverness just for a little family reunion for a couple of
Inverness.
days, and then came back down. Yeah,
I feel bad because my flatmate's from Inverness, but it's like 50 years behind the rest of the world.
it's a bit.
It is just
The
not
place we
much
were
good.
staying at was a bit like that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
yeah.
you know what? It's cute. Were you wearing that outfit going about?
I wasn't, but I went to the dump right before this, and I was wearing this outfit. I was definitely the most extra looking person at the Sight Hill dump for sure.
I love that for you though. So, let's talk about fashion designing because
Let's do it.
this is what you do now, full time.
Yeah.
How old are you?
23, 24 in 2 days.
And you literally have your own brand.
Yeah, it's mad.
Let's start from the beginning. Where
Right.
did your love for fashion come from?
So I've always been super creative, and I've always loved like expressing myself creatively. Even when I was younger, my mum says I was like the one kid that I would refuse to wear anything she picked out. Like I would literally go mental being like, I'm not wearing that. Like I'm wearing this, this, and this. Like I was so adamant on like what I was wearing. I would dress myself from when I was like 3, maybe not 3, but and yeah. And then as I grew older, I just like loved art, making stuff. I had tortoise when I was younger, and I would literally make like these huge like assault courses for the tortoise, like out of cardboard boxes and like cereal boxes and stuff. So I was always super creative. And then when I was about 16, I decided that I wanted to go specifically into fashion. And
So that was during school.
Yeah, so that was during school. And I've always, like, while I was at school, I was always kind of like thinking quite far ahead. Like I was kind of desperate to leave, like desperate to go out into the real world.
Did
like
you not really enjoy school that much?
I did. I enjoyed it, but I just, to be honest, I was probably a bit arrogant when I was at school. Like
I think
when
a lot of people are. Jesus Christ, I'm such a wee cow.
like honestly, when I look back, I'm like, God. And I
Yeah,
also
you get so cringed out.
like,
I'm like, why did I behave like that?
No, I used to literally like have like public Twitter fights with people being like I'm gonna meet you at Weston McDonald's at 2 on Saturday. Like like when I was like 14, and I'm just there like, oh my God, I would literally throw up if I did something like that. No, of course I didn't. I'm like 5'2". Like there's no possible way. But oh my God, the stuff
I didn't ever behave like that. I was never.
Honestly,
tell me about
I was unhinged. Like, and I just did all this like chaotic shit that I would just absolutely never do now. And I'm just like,
Fighter
oh
to
my
fashion
God.
designer.
Yeah, I know. Fuck me. Yeah, it was absolutely unhinged. Like the stuff like me and my friend group would just like say and do and tweet. Like
you to say that.
just like it like literally so bad. Like I literally can't believe it. I actually could not be more different now. Like in some respects.
You grew up.
Exactly. But yeah, and also whilst I was at school, I don't know if it's because when you're at school and you're in that specific environment, like it's very easy to have successes. So like in academics, like I did well. Like if I wanted to win the art prize, like I won it. Like is in, oh God, that sounds like it's so far out my house. But it's in like, it's so easy to achieve stuff. And I thought that would carry on like throughout my life. Okay. So I literally at school at 16 was like, oh yeah, I'll literally be the next Alexander McQueen by the age of 25. Like it would be so easy. Like I did not know, like I hadn't failed enough, like for sure. And as soon as I left school, it was like a shock, like completely, because it was just like rejection, like failure. And it was like just not how I anticipated the real world to be at all. That's why I think it's so important to fail like when you're younger, to build up that resilience, because I don't think I had enough of that.
So you were really in a bubble, really.
For sure,
100%. You were yes man by a lot of people.
For sure, yeah. And yeah, sheltered, as you said, like no idea like how this industry would actually be. Yeah.
So, but you loved fashion all the way through school and everything, and then so you're talking about these failures. Yeah. So that was going to uni that you didn't get into universities, or what was that? Yeah, so the first kind of like big failure of my life was basically when I was 10 years old, I decided I wanted to go to Central St. Martin's, which is like
the best like art school. Well, literally when I was 10, I heard about it when I was 10. I think my mom like told me about like this uni, Central St. Martin's, and I started going around like telling everyone, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. Like when I was in P6, everyone's like, oh, Emmy, like she's the one who wants to go to Central St. Martin's. Like I thought it would be smart to like half of fucking like East Lothian, no, where the Midlothian, for fuck's sake, I've been in London too long. Midlothian like knew that Emmy wanted to go to Central St. Martin's. And it was literally like my absolute dream. At first I thought I wanted to do art there, and then when I was 16 I was like nah, I want to do fashion. It's like basically like the hardest fashion school to get into. And because people from my school had got in the past, I thought it would be like easy to get in. Like I worked super hard, like the teachers would tell me like your work's amazing, like all this stuff.
So yeah, you were being really yes man.
Exactly. And I was literally like, I didn't even really think about the thought of getting rejected. Like
really?
I just assumed I would get in. That's how like arrogant I was at that age. And then I just remember
that must have been hard for a kid though. Like
it was tough.
I'm not thinking like, oh Jesus, like what an arrogant kid. I'm thinking more like that poor kid, like that's just gonna hit them like a ton of bricks.
Exactly. And like reality definitely hit me like quite quickly as soon as I left school. And I realized that this industry was going to be like very, very hard to navigate. But so I got rejected, and I just like I literally wasn't expecting it. And I felt so embarrassed because I had to then, everyone kept asking me, have you heard yet? Like, have you got in? And then I had to basically tell everyone, no, I didn't get in. And one of my best mates got in, and it was kind of like a whole thing. And bless her, like she's like really, really talented as well. But it was just there, like I felt embarrassed, like, and then she probably felt awkward because she knows that everyone's been chatting about me wanting to get in for years and years and years, and she's there like, oh god, sorry. And I'm like, no, don't be sorry. Like, I don't know.
That's so brutal.
It was definitely like, it was a big reality check for me, but I did something really psycho.
Tell me.
After I heard I didn't get in, this is how kind of like I'm a nutter, like in the sense like I'm so single-minded and like stubborn, like, and like I'm super ambitious, but also like sometimes it's like, bro, just fucking chill out, like be like a normal person. I basically, when I heard I didn't get in, got my portfolio and went down to London to St. Martin's, and then I stood outside for 8 hours, managed to find somebody I knew who was in the uni who let me in through the doors, sat outside, found the office of the guy who was in charge of like the course I wanted to do, sat outside his office for hours, and then he came in, was like, hi, like what are you doing? And I was like, hi, I've just been rejected, like would you go through my portfolio with me? Like I really, really would like some feedback. And at this point, like I thought, oh, maybe they'll like see my like dedication and say that like I'm fine to come. Anyway, I literally had like a sheet of all the criteria of like the university's like portfolio criteria, and I'd got a green pen and like annotated the entire sheet with like everything that I'd done, because I was like, green pen, that's like signified. If it was a red pen, it'd be like, do you know what I mean? Like that fucking psychology of like, oh, it's a green pen, she's done all that. So I was thinking of all these things. He went through he was so lovely, he was actually Scottish. He went through my whole portfolio, and I was like, oh, please, like maybe they'll change their minds. And he was like, look, like there's no chance we can like accept you, but he gave me feedback, and I was like, right, fine, like I've got the feedback. Left, went away. So sorry, wait, what was the feedback? What went wrong? So essentially, I don't know, it's kind of a mix between like, it's so hard with art courses because it's so subjective, and some unis want like loads of work, some unis want less, like basically St. Martin's want less quantity of work. They want you to be selective and like choose what's great. I just thought it would be a good idea to put in everything I've ever done on these really, really busy pages. Like, looking back, I actually see why I didn't get accepted, because although you could see that I had like skills and I was able to like develop ideas and I was like creative and stuff, like it was just absolute chaos. Like I just put basically everything in the kitchen sink like into this portfolio, because I was trying to show them like how much extra work I'd done and all these things, when actually I should have just like edited. That was the big thing, and I actually took that on board. And then I basically got into London College of Fashion and Kingston, which are great unis, but I just didn't want to go. I was like, I don't want to commit to a like 3-year degree and then not be able to go to St. Martin's. So I ended up like, I basically had no plan for the next year, because they told us really, really late as well. So I didn't have any time to like apply anywhere else.
So you were so dedicated to getting into St. Martin's.
That's like the dedication.
You literally got into the other colleges and you're like, nope.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm a sociopath like that. Like I just
I respect the dedication. So fair.
Yeah.
I was not expecting any of this when you came on today. I was like, really nice, you know.
Chill, no, I'm like
chill girl. Like, I'm psychotic.
Yeah, literally, like if I want something, like I'm like fully gonna go for it. And like then I basically ended up finding a course in Milan that was a 1-year course, and it was like an intensive style course, and you could apply late for it. And so that kind of meant that like it was almost like a 3-year course, like squashed into a 1 year. So it was full time, like 9 till 5 or like 11 till 8 every single day.
That's intense.
And to be fair, I was like, that sounds good.
That's about me. I want intense.
Exactly. So I applied for it, got into that, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go do that for a year.
So you went and lived in Milan?
Yeah,
wow.
for a year. So I actually loved it. But I literally, again, firstly, psycho, 100% attendance. Literally the biggest gimp ever. And also, I literally went on 2 nights out the whole year. Because on top of the work I was doing for like my course, and I obviously wanted to do well and stuff, but like I was still working on my like brand new portfolio for St. Martin's to reapply. And what I did was, God, I'm literally such a nutter. Like everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like chill the fuck out. But like what I did was, I basically managed to find like 10 people on the women's wear course that I wanted to get into, through like friends of friends, because I knew people at the uni who like knew someone, and I literally sent them all my portfolio, and I was like, critique me, like tell me, like, because I felt like I had like the skill level and I had the ideas and I had the talent, but I needed to make sure it was presented in a way that the uni would like. So I really, really like tried to do my market research and like find out, like get as much feedback as I possibly could. Got an interview, got down to the last like 24 or something, rejected again. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Wait, when was this?
So this is whilst I was in Milan. So
when were you in Milan?
So that was 2018. I left school in 2017, so then that was straight after school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's weird because then that summer I was just posting all my work online, and then that's when I got approached to do Vancouver Fashion Week, like whilst I was still there in Milan, but I was just about to finish. So then that summer I went home, got a job at the Nike store in Craigleith, and just worked on this collection for like 3 months, and then at the end of summer went over to Vancouver and showed that. And then whilst this was all going on, by the way, I was actually reapplying again and I got pied again. They have pied possibly the most dedicated person. I'm just saying, like, guys, like, I'm literally being so keen right now. Like, please, like, give me a chance.
I'm desperate. Literally, who's like that need to start?
I love you.
Let me in.
And then I was like, you know what? I think I'll just leave that. I was like, it's not meant to be. It's just not meant to be. I was like, I'll just leave that. Yeah. So that's
so no more replying to St. Martin's.
Maybe, I mean, I'm maybe one day when I've like got the money, I might do a master's there. You never. Well,
but also, I think fuck them.
I know.
Like, sorry, how do they not see your potential? You're so talented. That's really shit.
It is so hard because, like, I get it. Like, it is so subjective, and like you have to show basically like all of your ideas.
But
like,
3 times, babe.
I know. Yeah.
That's come on.
So the third time, I didn't put in as much effort to my portfolio as like the first and second, because I was a bit like, fuck.
That's so understandable. I would literally like the fact you didn't 3 times.
Yeah.
Please let this go. I'm begging you.
I literally showed up and begged at the door.
Here, thank God that guy was Scottish. Maybe he was like, oh, this wee Scottish lass come down from.
Yeah, he was loving it. He was like, what route did you take down? And I was like, he loves me. I was like, I've got this. Like, to be very bless him. Like, I even like took his email and I was like emailing with him afterwards, like sending him my portfolio, and he was like, obviously I can't like definitively say like give you like feedback, but like just make sure you're like doing this. And I was like, right, thank you.
What route did you take?
Yeah. He's like, did you take the bus? I was like, I've got it.
That's so
and
funny.
patched again. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I've got the insatiable desire is there, but
you've got the dedication.
But as I said, that's kind of like I just was not expecting any of that, and I think it was really good for me, especially because I ended up starting my own brand. Like even then, after when I was applying for jobs, it was just like rejection, like no reply.
So that was the big shot for you, coming out of school, having all these achievements, to being slapped left, right and centre constantly. The fact that you kept going is just incredible.
It was tough as well, because think about it, like all my mates are at uni, like having the best time, and I'm basically like come back from Milan, like moved back in with my parents, like none of my mates are in Edinburgh, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And like I'm the kind of person, like I've got like that ambition. I need to be like the lowest points of my like personal life have been when I don't have something to work towards. Like I have to be moving forward, like I have to be like have something to achieve. So when I'm like, I've moved back to Edinburgh and I'm like, fuck, like
it's like a step
what
back,
am I doing? Like applying for these jobs, not getting anywhere, like living with my mum and dad, getting rinsed by my brothers because I'm still living at home, like every day they're like, you fucking loser, and I'm like, yeah, like lol, like banter, like like oh my god, RIP. But then at the same time, obviously I was in a very privileged position that I was able to move back home, because I realised not everybody has that kind of opportunity. And then once lockdown hit, because essentially I wanted to start my own brand, but because I hadn't really been fully like trained up in sewing, pattern cutting, all these things, like I had basic knowledge, but it wasn't like good enough. I basically didn't think I would be able to start a brand because I didn't have any money to put into stock, like getting stock manufactured. So I was like, I would have to make it myself. My level's not good enough. Like I'll just apply for other jobs. Like I didn't really know where to start. I feel like starting is like the hardest part. But you can always find an excuse not to do something. And then when lockdown hit, I was like, right, like I've got no excuses. Like this is like as if this has happened at this time for me. Like I literally remember, this sounds like bullshit, but it's true. I remember I basically was at home for a year working as a nanny, which killed me now. Like I
was a nanny too.
Really, I'm not good with kids. I'm not good. My like little cousin comes up to me. He's like 6, and he's like, I don't know, just sit, and I'm like, you're right, bro. Like what's happening? Like I just don't know how to like communicate with kids. Like it's so bad. So I did that. Like obviously was having a bit of an identity crisis, and then went an intern for a year unpaid, but obviously I'd saved up money, like because I was lucky enough to live at my parents' house for a year. Interned in London unpaid, but then my internship ended.
Intern in London unpaid?
Yeah, it's insane. Like
that's literally shocking.
It's insane. Full time as well, like no expenses covered. Yeah, it's insane.
But you have to have that dedication to keep going with that, because when there's not that incentive of money, you're like, I just want this so bad that I will do it for free.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's exactly what it was, but also it's you kind of feel guilty because you're there like, people can only do this if they can afford it, like, which completely. Is so messed up.
But lockdown must have, like, in a way, like, obviously lockdown was like really, really shit time, but for you it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
Well, so that's the thing. So I remember my internship had finished and I'd booked to go home in like a week after my internship had finished, just for 2 weeks, like booked to come back to Edinburgh. And like low key, I wanted just to move home because I was like, I want to start my brand, like all this stuff. But I was like, I just feel embarrassed. Like I can't move back home again. Like this is so, like, I actually just felt like I was caring too much what everyone else thought. So I basically had these plans to move in with like my cousin and my boyfriend in London, but I just like, I didn't even have a job. And I was like, I was doing like picking up shifts on there's some app where you can just pick up random shifts at, like I was working at like Topshop, like Oxford Street, like for a day, like all this random stuff. And like honestly, I was so anxious and stressed because like I'm this ambitious person and everyone at school was like, you're going to do so well. And then I'm here, like everyone's at uni and I'm trying to pick up shifts at Topshop, Oxford Street. Like, not that there's like anything like wrong like with that, but it just was not what I like envisioned myself doing.
You had all this pressure from like your peers and people yes manning you your whole life, being like, you're going to go so far. And you didn't take that traditional path where you thought,
exactly,
so I'm going to go to uni and then this and this. Like, you got just completely thrown another direction. Like you were, I can't even put into words, like this is not what you expected.
No, it was not.
Oh,
like,
bless
it was not at all. And it was hard, but like as I said, like I'm so glad I went through that. And like when lockdown did hit, it was like I was just about to go home for these 2 weeks and my dad kept saying, like, he put this, my dad's like, he's like a prophet or something, he put this massive message in our group chat when COVID had like just started in China and stuff, and he was like, this is going to be huge. Like, I'm telling you, we're all going to go into lockdown. It won't be over for like over a year, like all this stuff. And we were like, nah, shut up. Like, definitely not. And he was like, when you come home, he was like, do not sign a lease for a flat in London. He was like, don't. He was like, come home. He was like, this is going to be like bigger than like anyone's like anticipating. Because he reads The Economist and stuff like one of those. But yeah, so I literally was like, I basically had like a mental breakdown for like 2 weeks after my internship finished. Like, I couldn't stop crying. I was like in such a state. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I literally said to my boyfriend, like, I just need like something external to like happen. Like, do you ever, I don't know if this is like, if this is relatable or not, but ever at school where you like on the way to like an exam or like you had a big test coming up or something and you're like, oh, I'd love if a car could just really lightly brush me, like just like
completely,
not knock me down.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to die, but I want something to happen, like just enough where I can dip out of this.
Exactly.
Like something tragic, maybe.
Exactly. Like
I just got my dad to get cancer, so that was great. Now here we are. That was my external thing.
Yeah, it's a good excuse to be fair.
Which was really shit because I didn't want that. I just wanted to be, like...
Yeah, the car would have probably been...
hit by a bus just over a little bit. Maybe break an arm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I got a death, so here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to lockdown.
Apologies for that. But yeah, and then I was like, I went home and then I stayed home for basically like, I don't know, maybe a year and a half.
Were you working during lockdown?
So I was doing freelance work. So while I was interning, I was also doing freelance work, which was to make money.
Like
which
what was that?
So I was working for a couple of brands, both Scottish-based brands.
Love.
Really small like brands, just kind of startups. And just doing like design, sewing, social media, basically just a bit of everything, trying to make a bit of money. Definitely wasn't charging enough for my time, but that's like another point. So I was literally coming in from my internship at like 11, 12 at night because they overwork you to fuck and they take the piss. And I was on my sewing machine till 3 a.m. doing freelance work. Like, it was insane. Like, it was, so that's obviously another reason why I basically had this like bit of a breakdown for 2 weeks.
You must have been so run down.
Exactly. So yeah, so then I kept doing that when I went home, freelance work, made some scrubs to the NHS,
really?
and basically started like a scrub group, which was actually really useful because although it just sounds like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like that hard to manage. Like, I basically was managing like 50 seamstresses across Scotland, and I was
Holy shit.
I've actually like built like a network of like seamstresses which could come in useful for me. Like especially like retired people who have like a lot of time and stuff like that, who might want some extra money like during lockdown. So it's like, okay, right, that's interesting. And just kind of like organizing the logistics of everything was interesting. And then I was just like, right, like, Emmy, stop taking the piss. Like, you want to start a brand, your sewing level's not good enough, so you just need to make your sewing level good enough. Otherwise, you're never going to start your brand because you don't have any money. So that's when I literally practiced sewing like every single day for about 3 months. Got all these pattern cutting books, YouTube, basically just taught myself, got like an overlocker. And then when I felt like I could create products that were actually like well made, that's when I started IMI Studios. So.
Wow.
Yeah, finally.
That is so impressive.
But I went the long way round for sure.
Did.
It wasn't an easy path. Like,
I think you seem to forget you're still only 23. 24 in 2 days. But like, you've come so far from being that psycho that went down to London and stayed outside that guy's for 8 hours.
Yeah.
To this, to starting that, like the fact you taught yourself all of this. So, like you said, lockdown, bit of a blessing in disguise. You managed to bash this. Like, you did all of that. Like, that's insane. And now you've got IMI Studios.
Yeah, let's go.
Was IMI Studios like the name? Just you're like, fuck it.
Not gonna lie, like Imogen. I didn't fucking know what to call it. That's the thing. I was thinking for ages because when I did like a couple of Fashion Week shows, I called my brand like Emmy by Imogen Evans, and then I was like, nah, that's shite. Like, I basically just put it on Insta because I was like, who do I think I am? Like, fucking Mark by Marc Jacobs. Like what? And like, no one really got the name, and everyone kept getting the name wrong. And I was like, I knew it was a shit name, and I was just like, I need something that like down the line, it's because the thing is also I was trying to decide whether I wanted to be a designer, like my label is Imogen Evans, or whether I wanted to create a brand. And it's weird because when I was interning and stuff, I recognized that there were people who were so much better at design than me, so much better like pattern cutting, tailoring, all these things. But something that I do have is like, I do have business acumen, and I'm really good at socials. So I was like, right, now I'm going to create like a brand and like that's why I wanted to call it IMI Studios, because I was like, it's to do with me, but like later down the line, like it doesn't, it's just, it's a nice sounding word, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be like my name. So yeah, I mean, not the most inventive name, but yeah, well, it's what it is.
Straight to the point. It's nice. I like
it. Exactly, yeah.
And when I've mentioned it to other people, I'm like, IMI Studios coming on my podcast. They're like, I know her. And I'm like, love yeah, it's her, right? She's got all the buzz.
Loves it.
So, see your outfits, all of your pieces. Where's the inspo from that? Because this hat, actually, I've not even acknowledged the fact that I'm wearing this amazing hat. Like, where did this come from?
It's hard because I always get asked that, and back in the day, all my collections used to have such like deep context behind them and like all this stuff. But now I don't know if partly it's because I am so stretched for time, like constantly. So I don't have time to like have this big like creative awakening and like do this really, really in-depth development. It's genuinely like being completely upfront. Everything I make is just stuff I absolutely love. Like I'm my own customer. So it's just stuff that I want or I think I've not seen or just things that I think would look really sick. And that's kind of like, it doesn't sound like that interesting of an answer, but that is just the reality of it.
Yeah, but you want to be able to like love and wear your own outfits too. And like that can come later down the line. Like once you have a little bit more time in your hands, but by the sounds of it, you don't seem to have any time for yourself. Because I actually wanted to come back to like all the like the journey that you've been on and like the constant work in the internship, being in Milan, applying for St. Martin's, like all of this. Did you manage to like enjoy like your early 20s? Like you're still like you're literally about to turn 24 in 2 days, so you're still in your early 20s. But like it sounds like you just grafted. Like did you ever get to like sit and like chill a bit?
I mean, it's hard because for me, like my happiest is when I'm actually like, as I said, like working towards something. So I found it really, like I did really, really struggle before I started my brand. But it's weird, like, so me and my boyfriend started going out before I started my brand. And the difference in just like my demeanor and just, I'm just so much brighter and lighter and like happier. And, like as soon as I started my brand and I was like, cool, I've got direction. Like I know what I'm doing. I'm putting my all into this. And like, that's so what I needed. So although like, yeah, my social life like is pretty non-existent and like, I think when you start a business, like your relationships and your social life kind of have to give, which is people don't really want to hear that, but it kind of is true. It's like I am enjoying like what I'm doing. So yeah.
If it's what makes you happy, you know, like if you like, no one really can tell you that you're wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone's journey is going to be different.
Exactly.
So, like, do you stay with your boyfriend now in London?
No. I'm literally moving next week, but I'm currently staying with my cousin. Okay. I'm moving in with one of my mates.
And speaking of, so now you live in London.
Yeah.
What made you choose to go to London then? To just pitch up 10 up outside St. Martin's.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to be closer to St. Martin's. And there's still a chance. I mean, obviously, like for work, it's like great. Like, I mean, I work from home, but it is great to be in London because I do work with like influencers or even just things like going to Fashion Week and like all these things. Like it's great, but also every single one of my mates lives down there. My boyfriend lives down there. Like I've got family down there.
Your life is there.
Yeah, it kind of just works for me. I don't think I'll live there like forever, but right now it works.
Do you think that Scotland's really limited when it comes to fashion?
I think Scotland has so much potential. That's the thing. Because
thank you. Yes. It has so much potential, and everyone just shits on it.
Like, bro, like there's like so many more millions of people in London than the whole of Scotland. But like Scotland produced so much talent, so many designers, photographers. Like I know so many talented creatives from Scotland. And I think the sad thing is that we all just moved down to London.
I was gonna say,
and if we all stayed, there'd probably be more of a scene. But yeah,
because I love Scotland so much, and it makes me like I understand why you would move down to London. There's more opportunities there. There's more chance for people to like grow a bit more. But then like we leave Scotland behind, and that makes me really sad because I agree. Scotland so
like
much.
My heart is in Scotland for sure.
Always.
I just fucking hate the cold.
Yeah, the cold
even though I mean London's not much better, but like
she get a bit hotter in the summer.
Like once global warming hits, Scotland's gonna be.
We're gonna be cushy. We're gonna have orange trees
it's
growing
out.
It's
gonna be so good. Everyone's gonna want to come up here.
Kelvin Grove Park, lemon trees. But yeah, like it's sad because I don't think people are giving it enough of a chance.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Do you think you'd come back up here then?
Yeah.
Oh, so like you're really sad. Is your boyfriend Scottish?
Sorry?
Is your boyfriend Scottish?
Yeah, he's from the Borders.
He's from the Borders? What's his accent like?
You're right.
I have him.
I always do the impression. I'm just like, all right, Emmy, and he's like, I don't speak like that. But then his impression of me is like, hello, like, any chance you could help me find the central area? Like he's like doing that of me, and I'm just like, right. So we obviously exaggerate each other's accents a bit.
He makes it like a wee bam.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, yeah, he's from Kelso, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't move back up anytime soon, but I think eventually, yeah. Probably.
What does your boyfriend think of all your funky fashion?
I mean, he
must be buzzing for you though.
So I met him because he started a brand. His background's in sustainability, and he started a brand making like jackets and like accessories out of tents left at festivals.
That's sick.
Yeah, but the only problem was like he didn't really know anything about fashion, so like he basically hired me freelance to come in, and I did like all the socials, all the design, like all the sewing, and then we ended up.
Sees your boss.
Yeah, a bit
well,
dodgy. Lawsuit. Yeah. And I mean, he's not got the brand anymore because there wasn't a lot he could really do in the business, he realised, because like obviously he's like, he knows so much about sustainability. I
love the concept though. That's
incredible.
It's a
sick concept for sure. Like he did some really like cool stuff with it. But yeah, now he works down in London as well.
Speaking of sustainability, I want to get into all of that.
It's a great link.
Thanks.
You podcast host.
You know, like I love when people comment. They're like, I love that. I'm like, I love the transition to it. Speaking of sustainability, so I wanted to just bring in my own experience. Not that I'm a fashionista, but I used to work for a company, well, a brand within a company, and they own all these different brands, and like I didn't even know this before I started working there, but this specific brand that I worked for was all about sustainability, being environmentally friendly, but it's the biggest load of bollocks and greenwashing I've ever experienced in my life, literally. Because even when I like first applied to work there, they were like, I said to them, I was like, I literally love your values, like I'm all about saving the planet, like who isn't? I don't want to die, and I don't want my future grandkids to die because we've made an arse of everything. And they were like, yeah, we'd love that. And I was like, genuinely, huge fan. Then I'm on deliveries, plastic after plastic after plastic. Literally, and like every label had about 50 bits of paper on it for like a pair of sunglasses. Like I've never been so shocked at something in my life, like total greenwashing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on brands profiting on greenwashing?
I mean, it happens all the time. You have to be so careful. And it's actually good that I've got my boyfriend to kind of like get his opinion on stuff, because he knows loads about like sustainability. Because for example, you can get yarns and like fabrics made out of recycled bottles, but what companies do is that they'll produce like 500 plastic bottles to make them into yarn, because it's cheaper than like collecting, and then they'll say this is made of recycled plastic bottles. So there's so many things like that go on. You have to do your research. You have to be so careful about like who you work with, what materials you work with, all this stuff. But I think like I used to label my brand as like a sustainable brand, and I don't do that anymore, because I just try and be as transparent as possible with my audience. Like as a consumer, so I don't buy any fast fashion. I'll buy like, unless it's from Depop, I buy like a few things from Depop, but other than that, I
always buy second hand if I'm going to do anything that's slightly fast fashion.
Yeah, like if you're doing a bit of like a sporadic purchase, which I try not to, but if I am doing that, it'll always be second hand, like in case like I end up not using it or wanting it in like a year or whatever. But I basically just buy like 1 or 2 pieces per year. Like I'll buy maybe from an independent brand or a more expensive brand, and just like really value that piece. And I basically just get nervous as a consumer, like I can't trust who I'm buying from. Like am I going to trust like that they're actually being ethical and all this? So what I try to do is like I just put myself in the shoes of like my customers, and I just try and be as transparent as possible. So I do say things like, I could be doing more, like we sometimes use plastic-based materials, like it's true, but we literally don't have any plastic in any of our packaging. When our stuff gets shipped from our manufacturer, none of it is in plastic, no cellophane, anything. It's all in cardboard boxes. And we also just try and minimize waste every which way we can. So the manufacturing facility I found, they have really low MOQs, like minimum order quantities, which means I can basically like test like a batch of products, release them, and then I don't have to order like 500 of something, which some factories make you do. Then you end up having waste, and you have to do a massive sale and all this. So yeah, we've gone from, I was like making everything to order for the first year and a half, and that was like a really sustainable way of doing it. But I've like said this to my audience as well, like I want to scale, like that's just the truth. Like I do want to scale, but I'm going to do it as like mindfully and as ethically as I possibly can.
You can't like it's never going to be completely clean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And also like sustainable fashion is like oxymoronic. Is that word? Oxymoron? It's an oxymoron. Like fashion's about consumption. So unless you're doing what like my boyfriend used to do, where it's like a circular system where like you're making fashion directly from waste, that's sustainable. But if you're producing clothing that isn't from waste, then like it's not really sustainable. Like you can try and be like more sustainable, but you're not it's not sustainable fashion. Like there's no really such thing in my opinion.
Yeah, completely. It's so interesting that that's what your boyfriend did.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he'd ever go back into that again?
Not into the fashion industry, but I think he'll definitely start his own business again. Like, he's always wanted to have his own company.
Yeah, no, that is so fascinating. I'd never even, like, I love the concept of that. It is a shame because there's not really much else that you can do with that afterwards.
Yeah, it was so hard to scale that because you had to obviously go to the festivals, like, chop up the tents in a specific way, and you couldn't, each piece was one-off, which was great, but people were only willing to pay so much for that type of fabric, and then they're all one-off pieces. So it was definitely like a hard business, I think, to navigate, but he obviously learned loads from it, and he's ended up doing really, really well, like in sustainability.
Yeah, of course. I've got another transition for you.
Let's hear it.
Speaking of a one-off piece, let's talk about Doja Cat.
Not me, you're too smooth.
I know, I just like to prepare.
Okay,
Doja
let's
Cat.
talk about it.
I've been wanting to ask you about this.
Okay.
Like, ever since I knew we were going to do an episode together, I was like, this is exactly what I'm wanting to talk about. Well, and also the fact that you're a girl boss.
Yeah.
And that you're psycho. I love it. I didn't expect it to be. I'm like, you and I are cut from the same cloth, girl. Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
I want all the details.
Okay, so this story involves my boyfriend again. If my brothers were here, they'd be going beep 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 beep. Ooh, someone's got a boyfriend. Someone's got a boyfriend. Like fuck me. Like,
do you want to drop your boyfriend's name, or are we just gonna keep it boyfriend?
James.
There you go, James.
Okay, so it was funny because after I did a pop-up last year, and after the pop-up
in London.
Not to like shag my own arse, but my Insta was popping off.
That's
like,
not shagging your arse, it's just facts.
It was blowing up. So like I was not paying attention to my notifications because like there were just so many.
I had to literally step away from my phone.
Literally. Guys, I need to take a break from Instagram because I'm just getting so much love on it.
In a couple of days, my real friends know how to reach out to me. See you later.
Yeah, well that is the reality of what was happening. And basically Doja Cat's stylist messaged me saying, me and Doja love your stuff. And I was like, oh, sick. But like, didn't think anything of it because I've had a few experiences with stylists. Like stylists, they'll name drop their biggest client when actually they're wanting stuff for like a smaller, like a less well-known client.
And did they expect it for free?
Yeah, of course.
That's so
I just wasn't, so I was just like, oh my God, that's so sick. Cause like, I love his work and like, I love everything he does, but
we love Doja Cat.
But I didn't actually think like she'd actually seen it or like, do you know what I mean? I just was like, oh, that's so sick. Like, cool. And then, I hadn't seen my boyfriend in like months because I've been like literally working, like just like flat out working. So we were like walking down, like on a walk, and I was literally so stressed. And he was like, right, like any like good things to like update me on, like anything been happening? I was like, let me think. I was like, oh yeah, quite cool. Like Doja Cat stylist messaged me, and he was like, who's Doja Cat? And I was like,
what? James.
I was like, James. I was like, oh
James.
I was like, what James?
Have you been living under a rock?
I know, literally.
Your
little tent. He's been living in a tent. That's the fucking problem. And I was like, James, what the fuck? Like, so I got up her Insta, and the button said follow back.
Stop!
And I was like,
my heart would have dropped.
And then literally, I had a tear come down. I was like, oh. I was like, no. I was like, you don't know how much this means. And he's like, who the fuck even is this? And I'm just like,
James, you don't understand. Go back to your tent.
Yeah, literally. Go back to your fucking tent, bro. So yeah, I was literally like freaking out. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, swift follow back. Hopefully she doesn't notice that. Like, hopefully her Insta's also popping off so she doesn't quite see that.
Emmy still hasn't followed me back.
I was like, shit. But anyway, then I messaged her. She replied. Well, no, I think I put up a story being like, oh my God. And I like added her in the story, like, Doja Cat's following me. And she replied like, heart. Anyway, we've had a few combos. Like, I'm not even kidding. She's so nice. Like, she like replies and shit. Like, it's actually mad. I mean, well, having said that, recently I sent her my whole new collection. Was like, I'd love to send you stuff. Seen her not replied, but
she's a busy gal. She's probably is she at Coachella right now?
Probably. I don't fucking follow her, so I wouldn't know that. I do that.
Unfollow.
Yes, yeah, fucking unfollow that. But no, so I basically I it was hard because like I don't think I would have sent as much stuff if I hadn't been speaking to her directly, because like sometimes, I don't know, with stylists, like you don't really know how much you're going to get back. Like you could literally, they could just start ignoring you, or you could like, I don't know, get like a big opportunity from it. Because I've been speaking to her directly, I was like, right, I'm just going to go all out. Like that's obviously a fucking huge opportunity.
Yeah.
So I literally made like 2 custom dresses for her. She told me a hat and leg warmers she wanted, so I included those, made a matching custom dress, made another custom dress.
The custom dresses were amazing. They were so funny. Talk about that. Let's talk
basically,
about that.
So I have this like maxi dress which has like my friend Faye on it, like her face is on it. So I was like, right, I'm going to do custom that with pictures of Doja Cat. And obviously she posts like piss-takey photos on Instagram all the time of her like looking kind of shit, but it's like really, really funny. Yeah. So I was like, right, I'll do one serious one where she like looks like really sick. And then I'll do one kind of jokey one which I think she'll prefer. And like, I actually really liked that one.
It's
some people did not get it. They were like, why the hell would you like, and I was just
they don't know Doja Cat. Like,
yeah, exactly. I was like, this might like tickle her a bit. Like she might find this funny. So I sent it all. And then I also posted a TikTok from it.
Yeah,
that popped off, which I was really happy about, because I was like, if nothing comes from this, like at least I've got this TikTok. It's been a good like opportunity for content. So posted that did really well. I mean, some of the comments, geez, like TikTok, fuck me. People are like she should be paying you all this. Like, to be fair, I get it. Like obviously she's got loads of money, but like she didn't ask me for all that stuff. Like it was my choice, because I was there like, this could be like a huge payoff for me, so I'm just gonna like go full out. And like, yeah, it was like a day of work and like 100 quid, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. Unfortunately, she didn't end up wearing the stuff. But the thing I'm trying to like realize is I basically sent it to her stylist, because I wasn't just going to ask her for her address, because like I'm assuming she's not going to give out her address. So I basically just messaged, I was like, okay, cool, I'll sort this with Brett. Like I messaged him, got his address, shipped it. And then I messaged him being like, just checking like you've given the stuff over, and he didn't reply. And then I messaged her being like, just checking like you received the stuff, and she didn't reply. So I don't even know if she got it.
Okay.
But look, like as I said, people on TikTok were like basically bashing her, saying she should pay you. But like it was absolutely my decision to send all of that stuff. And it paid off through the TikTok anyway. So.
And she follows you on Instagram.
I know.
And she's nice.
Yeah, she was honestly so nice. She's like in caps. Like I sent her pictures of the stuff before I sent it. She's like, OMG, like so obsessed, like all the shit. I was like, I was freaking out.
Did your mum not send her a voice note or something?
No, you're thinking of someone else. There's another brand, like an Irish designer who does hats as well. She sent her stuff, and she actually wore it and tagged.
Oh.
R.I.P.
She's probably watching this, so Doja.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, girl.
Well, the thing is, she obviously does like wear and tag. Like she's not against doing that. No, so I'm wondering if she has got it or not. But
I think she's just probably really sad and wants to like support.
Yeah. I mean, she follows so many like small creatives.
I wonder if she did receive it then.
Who knows?
I think you should send them another message.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
Exactly. I mean, she could still wear it. Like, who knows?
You never know. So, but I did love that dress. It was sick.
It was funny.
You could do like. Would you ever think of doing like just like a drop like that, like custom dresses like that?
The thing is, I got loads of messages about it, but I'm trying not to do anything custom, because it's just like the amount of time you have to put in, and like it's not really the most like financially like smart thing to do, unless you're charging like crazy amounts, which I mean for like that kind of style of dress, although it does have a print on it, I probably couldn't charge like 500 quid for that.
Are you comfortable talking about money?
Yeah.
Go on.
That depends what you're gonna ask. Right, go.
Obviously you're 23, turn 24 again in 2 days. How much money have you made from this?
So here's the thing, it depends per month. Like I can have a really, really good month, and then the next month I can have like a bit of a shit month. So if I'm being totally real, the past 2 months have actually been like quite dead for me.
Okay.
I mean, February and March are always pretty dead. Like I was anticipating it, but what I decided to do was like, because also over the past few months, I've been going through this kind of weird transitional period where I'm basically trying to take my brand from like making everything to order to getting everything made, which obviously I have to be like 2 collections ahead, and like I have to get all of the tech packs and stuff ready for my existing products that I'm now getting made from the manufacturers. So like that's taken up loads of my time, which I've not spent pushing on like out on content and stuff. Basically last summer, so summer's like my best time. I'll just say
you can tell us your best month.
I'll just say like there have been months where I've done 5 figures, but also there have been months, like the past 2 months, that have been like fairly shit. So it really does depend. And like
5 figures.
Yeah, but like then but here's the thing as well. I'm not even taking a salary at this point. Like literally I'm like, obviously I take out money for my rent and stuff, but like I live such a cheap lifestyle because I want to put everything back into the business. So really, like, I literally buy nothing. I don't go out for meals. Like, my lifestyle is like not like fucking glamorous at all, because I'm literally, and especially because I'm in that transitional period where I'm like going from making everything myself to having it all made. Like, I need so much money for stock. Once I've got that stock and I can like push out content and like sell it, I'm fine. But like right now, like I couldn't link with a manufacturer until I'd like built up enough capital to be able to like put it onto stock, which has been like really, really stressful. Like, basically getting rid of like basically most of the money I have like in my business account. That's basically been the reality of it over the past couple of months.
Have you got anyone working for you?
So I have part-time people. I've got a part-time seamstress. I did have a part-time like intern, but yeah, I actually last summer when it got so busy, I had like 3 people coming into my flat working every single day, which was insane. And then that was frustrating because it popped off like more than I anticipated after my pop-up, and I didn't have the infrastructure in place to fulfill the orders. So I'm actually sat like at the pop-up till scrolling through all the orders, like I literally had like 80 orders in a day, and I was like, I'm gonna have to make all of these when I'm back. So obviously I'm buzzing, but I'm also like shit. And like that 3 months after that, 2 or 3 months, literally like I got so ill. I like was doing over like 17 hours plus a day, 7 days a week, just like, and I'd wake up every day and I was just like, I don't want to do this, like I need a rest, but I just had like no choice. Like I used to not drink coffee, and then I literally got into coffee there. I didn't even have a coffee machine, so I'd go to the cafe, buy like 4 iced coffees, just put them in the fridge and just chug them during the day for energy. I got nothing left, like I had nothing left, but I just like, and also like I was asking advice from this other woman, I hate saying woman, but I don't want to say girl if they're like in their 30s or whatever. Yeah. But she basically, this woman, she also like had her own business. So I asked her like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've been like blacking out at my sewing machine. Like, I'm literally like, I've been doing this
blacking out.
Yeah, I've been doing this for like 2 months, but like I don't want to shut off my website because I'm like, I'm getting money in. Like I need to, and I want to go into manufacturing. Like I need this capital. So I was just like, what do I do? And she was like, suck it up and just fucking keep going. And I was like, yeah, you're so right. I was like, you're so right. Like, I didn't want to hear that. I wanted her to be like, no, it's fine. Like, take a break, take everything off your site. Like, and she was like, bro, like, you started a business. Like, if you want to make it big, like, suck it up and keep going. And I was like, you're so right. She was like, get on that coffee. I was like, yeah, okay. Buying these iced coffees, like, putting them in the fridge, just chugging them. Yeah, it was, like, and it was actually a really, really hard time. Like,
that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I've like literally I had like periods of time where last year where I literally didn't see a single other human being for over a month.
Emmy, you were blacking out at the sewing machine, living off of iced coffees all day, and didn't see another human for a month.
Yeah, for over a month. But like, here's the thing: it's so hard.
Like, you should all get into fashion.
Well, this is the whole thing. It's like this. Oh, it's so hard because like I feel bad like even talking about that because
because
like,
people need to see the truth. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not glam.
Exactly.
It's a graft.
No. Oh god, it's literally not glam at all. Like, if people saw my daily life, they'd be like, "That's so dead." I'd be like, "Yeah, it's fucking shite, mate." Nah, obviously, no. I do really enjoy it, but like, there's all this chat about like toxic hustle culture, and the thing is, like,
get your fucking ass up and work.
We've all got the same 24 hours in a day, guys. 24 hours in a day. No, like, in fact, the opposite. Like, I actually fundamentally completely agree with like anti-capitalist, like anti-work arguments, because like the fact that we're literally on like a floating rock in infinite space and we're all working 5 days a week just to have 2 days off, like that's fucked. Like that is literally a joke.
It's so fucked.
Like I completely agree with that. The problem that I have is
I'm a hustler.
I low-key like love working, and part of me is there like I know for a fact that like if I go on Instagram and or like on this podcast, like if I'm talking about how like right now I do between like 12 and 15 hours per day, but like I don't work 7 days a week anymore, like it's more balanced, but like I do like really, really long days, and I almost feel bad speaking about that because I know it's not a balanced lifestyle and I know it's not really a healthy lifestyle, so I'm like, ooh, should I be like talking about that? But at the end of the day, if I sat here and I said to you, oh yeah, like you can definitely start a business and only work 40 hours a week. Like that's just a lie. Like and that's why starting a business isn't for everyone, and that's also completely fine. Like just because someone's like hustling and working harder, it doesn't mean they're like better or more interesting or like deserve more. Like you absolutely don't. Like each path everyone decides to take is completely valid. So I think people just need to be mindful of like, if you do want to start a business, that is kind of the reality of it.
And people aren't going to show the shit parts on social media. Yeah. So you're going to see all these like people that are like my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5 on TikTok. Yeah. If that's not for you, it's not for you, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That sound like you don't need to go to Pilates at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Then come back, get your kids up, then start your bloody business.
I've
like
seen those, man.
Literally chill. Like don't compare yourself to other people. But can I just ask?
Yeah.
How the fuck is your mental health?
To be fair, it's actually fine. I will say my mental health is worse when I'm not having like a busy month. Like the pressure. Like
I find you fascinating. I want to be in your brain.
No, but just like when my brand's like doing really really well, I don't mind like what that comes with, like the like lack of sleep, like lack of like social life, lack of seeing people. I don't care because like I want this to be successful so badly. Like I can't even tell you. Like this is literally like something I've always wanted, and like I will work until like it is there. Like so the months where it's a bit dry and like I actually have time to relax is when I'm not relaxing. Like February and March have been like pretty dry months just because it's time of year. Dry anyway. And also like I made the decision because I've got like loads of things happening this summer. I've got like 2 drops, influencer collab, like all this stuff. I'm like, right, I could be doing like a couple of TikToks and like getting a few more sales like in February and March, or I could spend all my time like getting everything ready for my summer drops, like all my stock made up, everything ready, so like in summer I can just continuously like smash out content and I don't have to do any making, like anything like that. So that's kind of been like my plan. So it's definitely like I have taken a hit the past couple of months, especially because I've seen so much money go out my bank account for like all this stock. But I guess it's just the name of the game, innit?
It's gonna be worth it in the end.
Yeah, I hope so.
You're the hardest worker I've ever met in my life. And I fucking love it.
To rare, like I live with my cousin right now, and he was like, I don't know what I thought you were up to, but it wasn't this. Like I kind of just thought it was just this cutesy fashion thing that you kind of
that
did.
is banger.
Like, he didn't say it like that, but he kind of just thought I was just doing this because like thing is from the offset. It looks like really fun. Like when I post like a day in life, like I'm going to a podcast, I'm going to a shoot, like it looks so fun. When actually like loads of it is just like up to 1 a.m. Making the exact same thing again and again and again, replying to emails. Like the reality of it is that like it's not, as we said, that glamorous. But he was like, fuck me, like I've never seen anybody like smash out work this much. And I was like, but here's the thing also, like a lot of people want to start a business so that they can relax like later down the line, and that's kind of my plan. Like I do think like the harder I work now, the more I'll be able to like just chill out a bit later.
I know, I love that for you. You deserve it.
Yeah, thanks.
Take your feet up, dog.
I'll probably fucking drop dead at like 30 from a heart attack.
She's just gonna die
outside St. Martin's as a statement.
I just respect the grind so much. Like wow, I was not expecting this when you came on.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm
intense. I feel like you have to have like an intense personality.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
The thing is, do you want to know something funny? Like my whole life, I've been so obsessive. So, for example, I read like a Twilight book when I was like maybe like 12, and like I couldn't just be like, oh, I like this. It was like, I'm fucking obsessed with Twilight.
I'm a vampire.
Yeah, literally. I wouldn't eat iron because I wanted to have paler skin because I wanted to look like one of the Cullens. I literally had like posters. I had a Robert Pattinson calendar that I slept with every single night. Like I would like cuddle the calendar. I would like switch like the days. And like, oh my god, it's literally so bad. I had like in DT at school we would make all the shit and all mine would have Robert Pattinson on it. Like I was absolutely obsessed. Every single night before bed, I'd like put on Someone Like You by Adele and listen to it every single night and think about how I was never gonna meet him and all this shit. Yeah, proper just like intense vibes. Like I would go through like obsessions. So then I became obsessed with like Miley Cyrus, and like I couldn't just like something like a normal person. Like I had to like literally become obsessed with it, which I realized like.
So you've got an addictive personality.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely do.
To be fair, what you're wearing right now is giving the Breaking Dawn Part 2. The vampires when they go to the snow.
I love it.
What are they?
I'll take that.
What are they called? I don't know.
called? Cheery or something?
No, that's the people that are bad.
Oh, sorry.
That's when they go and ask them for help because they've got their little devil.
Fuck me,
child.
I'm not even a real fan. I've
moved
on, mate. I've moved on.
Yeah, I'm on to bigger things.
I'm obsessed with sewing now. Way there.
No, honestly, I would just respect the grind so much, and I love how honest you're being about all of it. People need to hear this. But
listen, like as I said, like, I by no means think that this is, like, the right way to live, or, like...
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, it's just,
people
like...
aren't going to think you're saying that.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. You're literally... I don't think anyone's listening to this going, like, that's a bit of me, mate.
Like, goals, mate.
Oh,
everyone's like, I
don't want to see anyone for a month, and I want to black out my sewing machine. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Fuck's sake. Yeah.
Apart from all of this...
Yeah.
Let's talk about the good parts.
Yes, let's do it.
Apart from the fact you're now followed by Doja Cat, you've got that.
Yeah.
Your TikToks are going well. I saw something about Vogue. What was about that?
That was actually a joke. I don't know why. Like, it's because people weren't watching till the end. That's the problem with my TikTok audience currently. They switch off after like 2 seconds.
But how long are your videos?
Well, that one was quite long. I was like to my cousin, I was like, this is gonna pop off, and it did not.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't recommend posting anything over a minute now. People can't hack it.
Yeah, like, to be fair, I can't hack it. So when I'm scrolling 2 seconds,
I could literally be like, watch something like it's like, and this person was murdered with an axe and like dismembered. I'm like, boring.
Bored.
On to the next. Oh, a fluffy dog. How cute. And that's a 3-second video class. That'll do me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But back to the good stuff.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up, girl?
So, exciting times.
Exciting times.
I basically am experimenting with doing more frequent, smaller drops. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow, I've got my website shoot for a bunch of new pieces. This hat included, this skirt included.
Go to the YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a look at that.
Get to the website. IMIStudios.co.uk.
Yeah.
Use code.
Plug.
No, I'm kidding. No codes.
Do you have codes?
No. I mean, I actually am about to have a big sale coming up before my next drop.
What day is that? We'll make sure.
There's no date currently planned because the thing is I'm moving next week, which is like why everything's a little bit up in the air because I need to wait till I'm like a bit settled. Fair. And then I'll sort
just
my
keep
life
an
out.
eye on Emmy Studios.
Yeah, just keep an eye. Just put us on your favorites on the gram, and then you'll see it all. Or sign up to our mailing list. Anyway,
keep going.
plug. But yeah, so we've got like a sale coming up. I've just finished and we're shooting tomorrow like a new mini drop where we've got like a bunch of stuff we've done previously that's been sold out or like new colorways of our like most popular pieces, and then in a couple months after that in midsummer we've got like all new pieces, like a drop never seen before, like all new stuff. Also have a collab coming out with Magda. I don't know if you know her. She's like a fashion influencer. She's so sick. So we've been working on that. And that should be out in the summer as well. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up.
You have so much going on.
Yeah, but it's all going on. I'm on top of it. Don't worry.
Get the iced coffees in, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't need the bed.
Those fucking Lucozade, like... Have you seen those new Lucozades that are like... It's like...
Stay away from those.
I know. Well, now I fucking am. I'm off it. Yeah.
You know what you should get? You should get an Apple Watch and watch your heart rate.
Jesus, I don't think I want to.
I'd have a panic attack looking at your heart rate. Fuck's sake.
The thing is, I've not done exercise in like 5 years because I just have like no hobbies and like don't have any time.
Slim.
It's probably the stress.
Iced coffee's the stress. Diet. No one take that as a real diet.
Like, my mom said you need to get your heart rate up. Like you need to be like.
You don't need your heart rate up.
I think I'm alright. You know, like yeah.
What do you do to like unwind? Work.
To be fair, well, here's the thing. So I'm currently working towards a more balanced lifestyle for sure. Because like. Thing is, I don't know if you know Grace Beverly.
Love Grace Beverly. I love her. She's amazing. I really look up to her. She's so aware. Yeah. Like she's not a twat.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love that.
No, she's really inspiring. Like, and I read her book, Working Hard, Hardly Working. The funny thing is I read the whole Working Hard section, and then I read a couple pages of
You're like,
Hardly Working.
Boring.
I was like, I'll just leave that. But legitimately, like, I know for a fact that like my brain is not operating at like capacity because like I've got burnout for sure. So when I move, like once I've moved into my new gaff, I just want to like basically work on like I want to work the same amount but just try to do it more efficiently.
You look so good for someone that's so
I'm
overworked.
fine, honestly. To be fair, I've just had a few days off. I've been in Inverness, you know.
Yeah, Gorge Inverness.
Been chilling in Inverness.
That's the place you go to
honestly,
chill.
I feel like this is like, I am actually totally fine, by the way. Like, no one needs to like ring anyone or like be concerned. I am totally fine. Like, this is all like my choice. Like, and the thing is, I have complete control over what I do. Like, I could easily just shut off my website for a week if I wanted to. So like, I'm absolutely in control, but it's just like I make the decision to just absolutely
this is what you want to do, and I respect that.
But basically I do want to try and achieve a more balanced lifestyle for sure. Like, I do know that I need to be like getting out the house. Like, I'm gonna go for like a morning walk. I'm gonna do like meal prep and stuff, just so that I'm like more organized and I'm not wasting any time, and I'm just
prep the coffees.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the fridge. Just use my time like as effectively as possible, basically. So like, I'm bad at taking evenings off, but I do try, like, these days I have been taking, like, weekends off, for sure. So, like, it's fine. I'm fine.
It's good that you're...
I'm fine. Sometimes if you're listening.
But this is good that, like, you're now... See, look, now you know that you want to relax at some point.
Yeah.
At least you know that. At least you're seeing, like, the end goal is there's going to be a point where I'm going to be able to actually chill and the business can take off and I will not have to be... like there all the time working until 3 a.m. At least you know that's the end goal, because if you were there like, I'm gonna work into my 80s, I'd be like, girl, it's time for therapy.
No, for sure
I'm contacting your mother.
And the thing is, I definitely like I'm self-aware and I definitely recognize the fact that like I have a toxic relationship with work, because even something like when I'm doing a content day, for me, because that's actually fun, I don't classify it as work. So like, for example, I'm meant to be having like this week off, but I'm doing like 3 shoots and this, because I'm just like...
But if that's what you like to do for fun, and like you're actually enjoying it, and it's like a way of you being like, oh, like kind of unwinding a bit, then I don't see anything wrong with that. And also it's benefiting your business. Do you know what I mean? It's true,
but then the bad thing is then I'm like in my head like, you've not worked enough, like you've not done enough work.
That's
bad, because
that's so bad.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah,
literally everyone gets it. It's awful. Like, see this, like this is basically work for me, but I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then you'll probably go off after this and you've not felt like you've worked. So
I'll come away from this being like, well, I'm going nowhere. Literally, the amount of times I say to Finlay, I'm like, Finlay, I'm fucked, and he's like, shut up. Or even like my flatmate, I'm always with Rachel, I'm like, do you think I'm gonna make it? And she's
you
like,
are.
That's
you know
the
what?
thing. I always doubt myself, and then other times look at myself now and I'm like, you're literally gonna be the biggest podcast in the whole world.
No, you gotta have the confidence. And to be fair, I get that as well. Like, I'm there, I doubt myself all the time. But to be fair, okay, right, I hate to like give Kanye a bit of a compliment here, but I'm going to.
Mate,
I hate
you're
to do
literally
it.
the fourth person on my podcast that's talking about Kanye.
The episode I listened to, one of yours I listened to, was like, you guys spoke about Kanye. We won't have to go into it, but all I'm saying is when I
constant in my life.
Bro, like, fuck me. He's a cunt. Can I say cunt?
Of course you can. Right. You've got a cunt ring on, don't you?
He's a proper cunt. But no, did you watch his documentary?
No, because I purely was like, I can't be honest.
Yeah, fair. But basically, like, my point was,
basically, masterpiece.
He is amazing. No, he basically, like, when he was trying to make it, his attitude was just like, I'm going to make it. Like, there's no option for me to not make it. And I feel like if you have that mindset, you're probably more likely to make it.
All of my guests have had this mindset.
Really?
Haven't they? They've all had this mindset of, you need to be delusional. Like, the thing is, I'm delusional, but then other days I'm not. I'm like, you're pathetic. And other days I'm like, I am literally the best thing on this earth. There's no in between. There's no in between. But then you have to be. You know what I mean? Like, actually, that sounds so cocky. Not the best thing on this earth.
No, but it's true.
I'm going to be going places.
Do you want to hear a really, really bad story?
Oh, right, mate, I honestly don't think you can shock me anymore. But
but this is actually funny. This isn't like concerning. As
if everything else hadn't been concerning.
No, I'm saying this isn't concerning.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'm kind of the same, like, it's like God complex or like I'm a piece of shit. Like, there's no in between. And I was on this is actually so bad.
Buzzing.
I was on holiday with my family last year, and oh god.
Set the scene.
And okay, so we're on holiday, and I'm wearing like, I basically planned all my outfits because I was like, I'm gonna get content each day in like one of my outfits. So I basically would come to dinner way more extra than everyone else. Like, people were just wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I'm there like in the fade dress, like available online now. And I basically come to dinner, I'm wearing like heels, like a dress, like all this, like I'm like sticking out a bit. So I'm like, yeah, everyone's loving this. Like, yeah, like, let's go sit down. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, excuse me, could I bother you for a photo? And I was like, and I was like sitting at a table with my whole family. I've got like 3 siblings, my mom and dad. I was like,
I know where this is going.
Oh my god. Yeah, sure. Like, I could like. Do you want me to like sit down, or like I could stand up? Like I could go like that. Like, and she was like, "Oh no, like could you just take a photo of me and my husband?"
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Oh no!" And my whole family were like, "Oh, you are like a disease." I was like, "Oh god." And then like I tried to play it off, and she was like, "Do you want me to get one of you?" So I was like, "Oh, that's a joke. I was like, oh." I sat down. I was like, "Bro," and they were like, "You are the most embarrassing person like to ever exist ever." I was like, "Oh god, like I actually need to like rein it in a bit." Yeah, too much.
No, but to be fair, if you're wearing like a really cool outfit, actually, I don't know.
Shit like that always happens to me. Like I'm the kind of person someone's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Good, thanks you." Then I'm like, "Oh," and then I just like, like I never say the right thing. Like, oh god,
you made me laugh.
So
this is such a good interview.
So bad, honestly.
Sorry, back to the good stuff.
Right, yeah,
we've gone back on.
Let's do it.
So where do you see this all going? What's the end goal? Apart from being able to relax a little bit, what do you want?
So as I mentioned previously, my goal is to scale like mindfully and ethically. I also like a huge goal of mine is to like when I do hire people, I really want to try and hire people that may struggle to get into the fashion industry. Like creative industries are just full of like private school people.
It is
like
so brutal. Yeah. Are you private school?
Yeah.
I'm private school. Yeah. I really hate talking about it.
Yeah, same. Cut that. No, joke. No, it's good to address. Like, let's not cosplay.
Oh no, like genuinely. Like for sure. We get a absolute leg and an arm up. Like it's ridiculous.
100%. And also like talking about getting a leg up or whatever. When you see all these celebs like Kendall Jenner and shit who are like, no, like my family haven't helped me get into.
Oh fuck
or, like,
up.
Or, like, oh my god, did I ever see you Roman Kent being like, honestly, like my dad being in Spandau Ballet and my mum being in some other huge brand, like that had nothing to do with my success. Anyway, back to the record deal I had when I was 15 and I'm still at school. It's like, what? Like, how deluded are you? Like, and it's kind of a similar thing to that, like coming from like a privileged background, like you can accept that you've come from a privileged background and recognize like, oh my god, I've had a leg up in so many ways.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can still have worked hard. Like it's fine. Like that's what these celebs don't realize. Like Kendall Jenner, like she thinks that if she says, oh, my family helped me get this job, it means it takes away her hard work. Like it doesn't. Like you can
just acknowledge the fact.
Yeah, exactly.
And also with all of like this help comes the confidence that other people don't have. I think that there's a private school confidence that we get taught.
For sure.
That I've definitely taken. Like not that other people aren't confident that didn't go to private school. That's literally not what I'm saying at all. But like there is like I was confident like from the age of 14. Do you know what I mean? Which is like, I don't know, I think that's something that's taught. Do you know what I mean? And we have that like also that kind of like self-assurance that we will be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
that's
the
thing, like, and that's the other reason my mum and dad always say to me, they're like, you're so lucky that you could start this business because if everything went to shit, you've lost like $2,000 of your own money and you can move back in with us and like you have a safety net.
Oh, completely. And
like,
my mum is my safety net. Like we have safety nets.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people do not.
And that's huge. Like, and people, because the thing is, my parents don't know anyone in the fashion industry, like all this shit, and people think that a lot of like having a leg up is a lot to do with like who you know and da-da-da. But actually even something like so big as a safety net, like that, people underestimate how privileged you are to have that.
Yeah, like my mum doesn't know shit about podcasting. She's just some little French woman. Like she's just came over here 20 years ago. She's trying to mind her business, and then they're like, I'm gonna be a podcast. She's like, you enjoy that, babe, okay? Literally. And I'm there at the BBC, hello. Let me in, please. So I'm not pitching out for 8 hours. That's for sure.
But no, so yeah, definitely like I'm like super privileged, even just as I said, the fact that I could move home and like and I'm proud of the fact like I've not taken money off my mum and dad for this business, but then I recognize
have you not?
No, but then they've like given me so much in like so many other ways, like, and
your dad's gonna start working for you. Let's talk about that.
So my dad just retired.
What's his name?
Rob.
Oh, big up
Rob. And yeah, me and my dad are like super close. He's like super like to the point, like no shit kind of guy, and he challenges me harder than anyone does. Like he'll pick me up on my shit, what I'm doing wrong. Like we go every year. Like I don't get an accountant to do my accounts. Like me and my dad will do them together because we want to go through like just like all the finances, like sort out a plan. We had a business meeting when we were up in Inverness, where we basically like planned out like the summer, like all this stuff. Like, and to be fair, like I'm the boss. Like let's not get it clear. Like, I'm the boss. Like I tell him what to do, but like I do really value his opinion because like
they must be so proud of you.
I mean, yeah, too. It's mad because my parents both aren't like creative in the sense like they don't think they're creative, but actually like I think they actually think really creatively, but just because they're not good at like art.
So your dad's gonna be designing the dresses.
Oh yeah, the Rob dress next season.
So what's he gonna be doing?
So to be honest, his prime role is to kind of like keep me in check. Like he's just kind of like a soundboard for me. So like because I've gone from doing so much sewing and like my daily task list would just be like you have to make this, tick. Now that I have more time freed up, I need to be like strategic with my time, and I need to be thinking, if I want to scale, I need to think of the bigger picture in my everyday. Like I can't just keep looking at the everyday. So we basically have like, we're gonna have a meeting like every Wednesday morning where he basically just asks me like, right, like what are you doing for like 2 seasons time? Like are you like, have you got your timeline sorted? Because like with manufacturers there's lead times, all that, and he basically is just there to like challenge me.
Okay, Kris Jenner.
Like, so I am so buzzing. Like
your dad sounds class.
No, he's such a
I'll
legend.
hire him. Tell me
He's
what to
such
do.
A legend, honestly, and like he loves coming to like my shoots and stuff.
Oh
like
my God.
he just finds it quite interesting. I think like I think when I first was going into something creative, he was a bit like, because my older sister is like a musician. I think he's like kind of dying for like someone just to like go work at a
Please
bank or
be
something.
a doctor.
But, yeah, exactly.
Come on.
But now that I've started my business, I think he's generally excited because he always wanted to start a business and he didn't. He's like, he hates like taking kind of like risk, like do you know what I mean? So he's like, he didn't
like, go on, little one.
Yeah, he's like, you do it, and I'll just live like through you a little bit. But yeah, he's like helping me out, which I'm so
your
excited
parents
for.
sound class.
Yeah, they're legends for sure.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Wow, like it's like you said, like it's amazing you have that safety net, because the amount of people that are wanting to do all of this and they do not have the support of an amazing family, good boyfriend and everything, it takes a lot.
And that's why like when I do scale, like I want to make sure I'm hiring people from like not just people from fucking like privileged backgrounds, which is like so much of the creative industry. And also just like obviously you can see from like my website that the models I use and stuff, like I use a diverse like range of models, but if that doesn't translate to like the employees at the company, then it's kind of just like bullshit, and it's kind of like it's kind of like the equivalent of greenwashing. Like for example, the Jacquemus show, like a few years ago, I remember the team took like a selfie at the end of the show, and although the show had like such a diverse cast of models, like the whole team was white, and it's just they're like do you really care about diversity then, or is it just like so it looks diverse? Do you know what I mean? So I really want to make sure that as I scale, like I'm so mindful of that, because that's like important to me for sure.
Yeah, of course it's important to you because you're not a dick.
Yeah.
What advice?
Just a psycho.
Yeah, of course. You know, you're a nice psychotic.
Yeah,
girl.
Exactly.
I love it. What advice would you give other people that are maybe wanting to start their own business or get into the fashion scene?
I think
it's brutal.
Just get over the whole
get
cringe.
over yourself.
Yeah,
get your fucking ass up and work.
It seems like nobody wants to work these days. No, I think don't get over that whole cringe thing. Like, I think that's cringe. Bro, I could not be more cringe. Like, if I tried, like, seriously, I'm there. Like, I reach out to people all the time. Like, I'm always. I think it's. So, for example, last year I did a collab with Depop, and that was literally through me finding the guy in charge of like brand partnerships on Instagram, on LinkedIn, meshing him on Instagram. He referred me to someone else, and me just like emailing them a few times until they were like, right, yeah, sound. Like, and it ended up happening. I never thought it would actually happen. Or like, for example, when I did my first pop-up, we'd never done an event before, and I was like, shit, I've got like such a tight budget for this. I need to get like a drinks partner. Was emailing all these small businesses thinking like, there's no way like a big brand is ever going to want to partner with me. Shot an email to Absolute Vodka, and they replied like, yeah, sound. We'll send you like 400 cans or whatever.
That's
like,
insane.
So like, if you don't ask, you don't get. And like,
but also maybe big businesses like that. Like when small business reaching out to them, first off, they're like, love the confidence for doing that. And second, like, it's fun. Like, what you're doing is like something that like Absolute Vodka, like, I mean, it's like, what are they going to know about fashion? They're like, yeah, fuck it, do it. Go
exactly.
for it.
And also, if you're having like an influencer event, think the reach of like everyone at that event, and it's just for like a few cans, which to them is like doesn't cost anything.
So
like,
take risks.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go for it. Don't care about cringe, because now that you mentioned about cringe, maybe that's another reason why quite a few people leave Scotland. Is because of like the whole cringe culture.
For sure.
Like, I'd like really cared at the start, and now I could not give a shit. Like, I'm like,
I don't know if it's because Scotland's like smaller, so everyone knows everyone, so everyone talks, or like, but that definitely exists.
Oh, like, there is a cringe culture, and like that's maybe a reason why quite a lot of people do leave Scotland, and that's even more of a shame because we have so much potential here. So why are you shitting on everyone and being like, that's so cringe, that's so cringe? And what? Just let them live their lives.
And also, like, would you rather be the cringe person or the person who cringes? I'd rather be the cringe person. It's a more fun existence.
Yeah, it is, because you're just living your life, and this person's
just
like,
being an absolute gimp.
Yeah, being a gimp, enjoying life, and also the person that cringes is like, well, you must have nothing exciting going on in your life. That's what you're
just
spending.
Just hater vibes for sure. Yeah. But to be fair, I think it's probably better now. Like, it was very.
Oh, it was obviously back in the day.
Like, I started a fashion blog when I was 16 because I was like, when I leave school, like, I know I want to start a brand, so it would be really useful if I could have like a pre-existing online audience for like when I leave. So I was trying to like get into like blogging and shit. It didn't really work, but like I still update my blog like every week, and it was like there was pushback for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I didn't do anything that was that creative in school because I was so scared of like the backlash from people. Like, even just like there was a kid in the year below me who posted singing covers on YouTube, literally slated, called all like the awful words that you could possibly imagine.
It's a shame.
It's such a shame. It discourages people, and also like kids are brutal. Like, they're nasty. Oh my God. And I'm hoping it's a bit better now, but.
Yeah, I reckon it is. Like, and also because online is such like a huge thing.
I was gonna say, I think TikTok, more and more kids are using TikTok now, so it's like less cringe because it's like, I'm just making a TikTok. Do you know what I mean? So maybe people are gonna be more creative. I hope so. Hopefully. Emmy, this has been so nice.
Thanks for having me.
I've loved every minute of this.
Very chilled, actually.
Mate, I didn't realise.
I'm sweating though.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Martin's chat. I'm wearing a grey top as well. Good.
I didn't realise how like we were. I'm just
pals now.
I held back my psychotic stuff.
It's kind of mad because like I've literally never met you. Now I feel like
we're pals. I feel like we're pals.
We met you like fucking an hour ago.
When you're next up, we'll go for a wee
for sure
iced coffee.
Yeah, fucking decaf.
I'm taking you out on a walk. I'm taking you into the wilderness.
We'll go to yoga.
I'm taking your phone off you. I'm like, look at the trees, girl.
Touch a tree.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me. And go on IMI Studios on Instagram. And do you want to plug your own Instagram? Or do you not use it?
I'll plug IMI Studios on TikTok, IMI_Studios on Insta, and I think just IMI Studios on. I'm into Pinterest now.
I love Pinterest. I'll follow you on Pinterest. I don't really do that. I just get lots of inspiration from Pinterest.
Yeah, we're on Pinterest.
And also, if you want my gorgeous green hat that I'm about to purchase, go on. It's going to be taken off really soon. Yeah, they're going to be discontinued soon, but these ones are about to come out, so keep an eye. Just in time for summer. Yeah. See you later.